Also, once again, I'm going to show the drawing I made about the Navy vessel that flipped over or flipped upside down in the ocean. And as you see there, some people I dreamt about were also rescued during this terrible time at sea for the sailors. The next and last letter in this proof of evidence segment is the letter T. Letter T is the last letter in section 1. Here's my proof of evidence that shows my dreams in this segment had all come to pass. Number 1 is S11TD. I believe S11TD was about the coming collapse of World Trade Center 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I believe S11TD was fulfilled in 2001. I will read a 9/11 research article that talks about the fulfillment of my dream. In September 11, 2001, the World Trade Center super block held buildings 3, 4, and 5. Building 3, 4, 5, and 6. All of these buildings were severely damaged by falling rubble from the towers and then by fire that burned for hours. And remember I drawn about this dream about seeing one wall, but actually it was 4 walls in one. Well, the 4 walls represented, in my opinion, represented building, let's see here, representing building 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 2 is S12TD. S12TD was fulfilled in 2003. Here's a New York Daily News article which speaks about the fulfillment of my dream. In January 22, 2003, Boston firm wants Antonio Gaudi's 1908 proposal for skyscraper to rise at World Trade Center. And here's the Daily News article about what the architects at this time wanted to replace the World Trade Tower with. As you see there, this is what they wanted to replace at first, the World Trade Tower with. And remember, I dreamt about a futuristic building that stood beside the World Trade Tower. See, as you see there, this is my my vision of what I've seen in this dream pertaining to this futuristic building. As you see there, there's a tall building in the middle with like a string or bow here around his neck, and there's several buildings like connected to it. There's another building, and as you see here, there's horizontal slit for windows. And if you let me show this article again, you see here, that's what I dreamt, something similar. This is what the architect wanted to first replace the World Trade Tower with. You see the tall building here, you see buildings next to it, and you see slits or horizontal slits for windows. And like I said, there was a ring, which I've seen. And this futuristic building that I dreamt about, that's what I believe this particular dream had come to pass. The next and last number in this segment is the number 3. Number 3 is the last number in letter T, section 1. Number 3 is S13TD. S13TD was fulfilled in 2001. I will read a research article about the fulfillment of my dream. American Airlines Flight 11 is the first plane that hit the World Trade Center North Tower. United Airlines Flight 175 was the second plane that hit the World Trade Center South Tower, and American Airlines Flight 77 is the third plane that hit the Pentagon. And
okay, this is Parrish Black. Today is September 20th, 2011, a Tuesday night, time 11:38 p.m. Yes, I've spoken about observing 3 airplanes flying over the World Trade Tower in my dream that showed me that the World Trade Tower will be put under attack. And after the dream and after more or less 9/11, 2011 did happen. And some years later I found out that a plane possibly have not crashed into the Pentagon, that a missile have crashed into the Pentagon, and that the third plane that's supposed to have crashed in the Pentagon was actually destroyed somewhere, and that the other airplane, I think, that had flown around Pennsylvania, was people reported seeing jets blowing up that plane in the sky. And, you know, there was a movie made about it, that the plane crashed into Pennsylvania. Okay, but in actuality, what everyone saw on September 11th, 2001, were two airplanes that crashed into the World Trade Tower, which is once again American Airlines Flight 11, United Airlines Flight 175. So when I had this dream of seeing three airplanes, the three airplanes in my dreams will manifest themselves, in my waking state, because two crashed into the World Trade Tower, which I said once again is American Airlines Flight 11, United Airlines Flight 175, and the third airline I found out was the one. Well, it was an airplane that crashed into a Queens neighborhood in November 12, 2001, and this aircraft was called American Airlines Flight 587 and Airbus A300. So 2 months later, after 9/11, a airplane crashed in Queens, New York. So actually, there were three airplanes that was involved, crashing in New York. Two airplanes crashed into the towers, and 2 months later, an airplane crashed into a New York City neighborhood. So my dreams of seeing three airplanes flying around the World Trade Tower more or less came to pass in that way. Two crashed in the World Trade Tower and one crashed in Queens, New York. So more or less my dream is telling me that there's going to be three airplanes that's going to, crash or hit their target here in New York City. And, wow. So it's like when I have these dreams, of seeing this and that, some of these dreams may have different time periods when, one object may materialize sooner than the other. So the two airplanes crashed into the World Trade Tower, and the third airplane I seen flying around was scheduled to crash 2 months later after the World Trade Tower. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, because that's the information I found out later. And I remember that day when this airplane crashed into Queens in November. I couldn't believe it. I mean, people, me, as a native New Yorker, we were still in a state of panic of what happened in 9/11, because I was upon my roof and I seen one of the World Trade Towers on fire. And I didn't get a chance to see the other World Trade Tower collapse, but I seen it with my own naked eye, because upon my roof during that time period, 2001, I was able to see the World Trade Tower in the, how would I say it, in the northwestern sky, So, wow. Okay, let me just continue with this.
And once again, I'm going to show the drawing of this dream I had about the World Trade Tower, where I've seen three airplanes which flown over the Twin Towers. And the three airplanes that have flown over the Twin Towers were, in my opinion, were American Airlines Flight 11, with also United Airlines Flight 175, and the third plane was American Airlines Flight 77. You remember there were four planes that were hijacked, but in actuality there were three planes that had reached their targets. Now we are finished with section 1, which dealt with Parrish fulfilled prophecy. Now let us venture into section 2, which will deal with Parrish future prophecy. And thank you very much.